Hello world, how's it going? Man, you can't see them as well now. Quality I'm sure is not too good being between these tanks. But I thought I'd hop on. It's like 2 a.m. where I'm at. I've been working on my QT stand pretty much all day, trying to get that done, plumbed in. And I've been trying to take the time to actually breed some blue Gularis Killifish again. And I wanted to bring you guys along for the ride. So, there you can kind of see them. Not the best shots of them. I do have other videos of them. Hopefully they'll be closer to the glass next time, or I can bring a flashlight over. But let me show you what I've collected already. I've already went through 2 spawning mops. So these are blue Gularis Killifish, really beautiful fish. And they are very easy to keep, very hardy. Bunch of CPD babies in here. Do I ever sleep? Not very often. So while the world's usually sleeping, I am up working. Get more done that way. Alright, had to get my heater going in here too. I use an oil-filled heater for this whole garage because the concrete gets really cold and the radiant temperature and cold coming from it gets really bad. It's pretty chilly this morning, and I've got tetras, I've got rasboras, I got cory cats, I got placos, rare ones, and it's surprising how cold they could really get. But anyways, it's like 32 degrees out right now. Lucas is a dad. He sleeps when he can. Exactly. Yeah, you only live once, so you gotta do it up, you know. Alright, so it's gonna be hard for me to see the chat. I'm gonna try to get you guys up on here too. That way I can chat with you guys. Where's that refresh button? And I am going to put you guys on the head cam. I haven't done that for a long time. I'm surprised how many of you guys are still up, which is awesome. I'm glad you guys are. And yeah, getting some Australians in here because it's about your guys' time. You push the limit, that's what you do. Yeah, exactly. You gotta push the limit. And the more you push it and the more you break your brain, the farther you go, the more you evolve, the quicker you grow, and the more you know. I love it. It's what I live for. I've always lived to learn, and I see it in my son, and I feel blessed that he seems to be that way. For blue Gularis, I will be up, says the United Tanks of America. That's awesome. So I got 1 mop left. And here's all the eggs I've collected so far. What is the easiest fish you ever bred? I would say rainbow fish are really easy, or really any live bears like endlers, guppies, mollies, platies. Because all you got to do with them is give them coverage. But here's a bunch of eggs. All those are little eggs. The second mop I grabbed was just full. So here's a mop. Let me get you guys on the head cam here. So give me a second to situate you. I was debating whether I wanted to take the time to do this, but I figured, yeah, why not? It's Saturday night. It's been a while since I've done the ye old head cam here. Let me see here. I'm going to look at the computer, that way I get my point of view. And I'm going to have a little lag. Alright, cool. So I can see the chat here. Fish Guru says aquatics, just got off work to set up some tanks. Guppies poop fry all over. That's hilarious, Shannon Davis. Yes, guppies poop fry all over. There you go. They were born to breed, says Benjamin Stokes. Alright. That is awesome. We've got, how many of you guys up here? 57? Alright, so this is what I've got. I got 1 more mop left. And I did look at it to make sure there was actually eggs in here first. I was like, thinking to myself, if this thing's loaded, I'm gonna go online and I gotta show you guys. But it's really not that loaded. And I said, screw it, I'll do it anyways. There's like maybe 4 or 5 on here. So here you can see some eggs on here. And it's easier to see the eggs when the mop dries out. Let me take you guys off the head cam. Because really I want to give you guys a close-up of these eggs on here. This just seems silly. Why are you all up so late? Was about to go to bed. We're vampires. Don't you know? Let's see, where'd those eggs go? Okay, now I know I got the head cam, because this is hard to do with one hand. That's why the head cam comes in handy. Well, that's awesome, Shannon Davis. Glad to hear that you're inspired for that. Shoot. Alright, well, this is going to be kind of tricky. I've got a holder, but I don't want to drop you guys on the internet. Here's the new rack going on. You guys here, study this new rack real quick that I built. Maybe that'll inspire some of you guys to build your own racks. That's how you really get it done. You build your own racks. You keep tanks over tanks. Alright, I'm back. So I'm always a big believer in proper preparation prevents poor performance. The 5 P's. And sometimes when you go live, you just can't prepare for everything. So what I do, I'm always keeping this peat moss in this bag actually here has been on my tabletop for, I would say, at least 6 months, if not longer. So I always keep a bag of peat moss here. I damped it once, I never damp it again, and it's kind of dry, it's not really wet, and that's what I set the eggs on. You don't want it too wet or they'll fungus up, but you don't want it too dry. Alright, this will work here. So I got this little claw thing that holds the camera up for me. I got that cheap off eBay. I don't have a whole lot of money to pour into fancy tripods when I gotta hit up these $1 sales while they last. Weight products keep getting more expensive and everything. Alright, so let's go through this mop here. When it's wet, you can't see them as well because it's real shiny. And you can actually see shells of it, of like old eggs as well. Ramus071, thanks for a $2 super chat, I appreciate that. For LR Brett's sleep help fund. Good luck with that, but I appreciate the $2. So here's a little egg. They just lay him on these strings. That's not coming in too badly for being live. Probably because everybody's asleep. These things are really hardy, so you can see you don't have to be real delicate with it. It's on my thumb right now. You can roll it in my fingers. There you could actually see on my finger. This is from feeding fish food. See how it's got a little orange on it? I always wash my hands after, but just crunching up the tetratropical granules because they're hard. Kind of chews up the side of my finger with the orange. That's kind of neat to see on screen since I feed so many tanks. But anyways, there's the egg. And it sticks on my hand, so I just get this. And I'll take the egg, and I kind of aim it where I want it. And believe it or not, you get pretty good at aiming where you're flicking the egg. So you try to keep them from not touching each other. I just flick the egg right off into it. Easy peasy, doesn't hurt them. But man, look how many I've collected. It's ridiculous. And it's only been like, I think 3 or 4 days since I collected last. Many of you people have been asking for them, and like I said earlier in some of my other live streams, patrons get first dibs. But I am trying to make it to the point to where there's some for everybody. And what I'm going through right now is making sure none of them are touching because they'll get all fungusy. Fungused. For you grammar cops out there. Or is fungus the word? Fungus? Fungide? Which one is it? Alright, so I got like 4 or 5 other eggs in there. Shannon Davis, $5 super chat. Thank you for that. Awesome. This will go to pay me after you hire me to help you. Well, I could use some help. I just can't afford help yet. But if I do get help, I want to be able to pay them decent. That way they enjoy work, really want to work. And it's definitely going to have to be somebody who's passionate about it. What time is it in the States? It's actually 1:49 a.m. where I'm at. You know, when you're always working at night, sometimes it does get boring or old and everybody's asleep. You want to... It's kind of nice I can hop on live here and you guys are actually still up. There's another egg. So I flipped that on the moss. So I'd say there's probably like 30 or 40 in there. So that's pretty much how you do it. Collect the eggs. I usually get 2 containers since I've got 3 spawning mops in there with a pair, or no, a trio. I got 2 females and 1 male. And I'll just throw the 3 spawning mops in here, and then as I go through them, I'll hold them over this just to kind of collect the water, and always put a towel down so I don't have to clean up a mess later, you know, mess with all that. And then I'll go through here and look for killifish eggs. Now you can see it's just covered with mulm. Believe it or not, a lot of people they try to get rid of their mulm, but mulm is really great. If you look in the wild where tetras and like pretty much all fish breed, the plants will collect this. You can see an egg there in the corner there. See it kind of rocking back and forth? But plants will collect this, fry, eat off of it, live off of it. It's really good. Really, it's just a bunch of beneficial bacteria. Almost looks kind of tasty, right? So there is 1 egg in there. I always check those just in case. Every egg counts. So what are you guys saying here on the chat? It's kind of hard to see on the screen here. Did you all know? Oh, yep. I do have a GoFundMe. I don't really mess with it too much since I got the Patreon and the tip jar. Kyle's Wild World, I gotta thank him for setting that up. How long do you keep the eggs in peat? Candy overhauls, great question. I keep them in for 6 weeks. Then after 6 weeks, what I'll do is add some water to it, and then they'll just start hatching. It's kind of crazy. Fish Guru Aquatics, do you have a wait list for your valve you pulled out of your pond? I do not have a wait list on there. Should be some on the website unless they sold out and I didn't realize it. Whoa, look at that. Chat on chat on chat on chat. Look at all that chat. Whoa, I wonder how... There goes even more. Look at that. That's kind of cool. Okay, one of the first foods my Akara Fry ate was catatap leaf biofilm. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Kyle. Hey, Kyle's Wild World's in here. Well, I was just giving you a shout out for that GoFundMe. Thanks, bro. I'm a Patreon, are you? Thanks, King Lee. Give it a taste. I bet it wouldn't have much of a taste, to be honest. And I just ate, so I don't want to fill up, you know. Reverend Ryan Bob Givens. Ever kept Shelly's, Maltese, Lucas? I've never kept them, but I have thought about it. Majestic Animals, it's great to see a late night stream. Yeah, I used to do them more often. And I figured it's been too long, why not? For all you night owls, we are in another dimension. Always in another dimension. Everybody's got their own little universe going on. They talk about parallel universes right next to us, and it's true. We're all our own parallel universe. Do you ever sell just the eggs, Jennifer? No, I don't, Jennifer. Just because if I'm going to take the time to gather the eggs, I might as well raise them up and bring them to the fish they need to be. Make sure I got to put my lid on here too, because I don't want the eggs to dry out. And I'll always put a marker, like I'll mark the date that they'll be ready to go. I don't know, maybe one day if I ever get an employee or something and I just pull eggs after eggs after eggs after eggs, maybe I'll try to do something like that. But it's really a labor of love to breed them and raise them. So I try to just do that. That way I know the fish are at least up and out there. Because there's not a lot of people who keep blue Gularis, and I would really hate to see them leave the hobby because they are such a beautiful fish. Chatception. Late night, what's up, Nick K? We got all kinds of cool people in here. 54 Punchy, KG Cichlids, Mary Beth Mabe, Majestic Animals. I go on and on forever. Alright. What type of killifish would you recommend for the first time keeping them? Golden Wonder killifish are fairly easy to get, beautiful fish, easy to breed. They're the first fish I've actually bred in the hobby altogether. And then you got like bluefin killifish. They come from Florida. They're pretty easy to breed and keep. The blue Gularis are really easy to keep. A lot of rainbow fish are pretty easy to keep. Now, like the Australs and the Gardnerii, they are easy to keep, and well, they kind of prefer softer water, so they can be a little more finicky, but not that bad. And the only thing about them are that they're a little more aggressive, like your Golden Wonders and your blue Gularis, the Fundalo pancheks, I think that's how you say it. You can keep more in communities. How to keep down the aggression on a female RTE. She is bullying everyone like I've never seen from a guppy angler. Huh, that's pretty wild. Dominique Martino, try a floating plant or something you can float on the top where the males can at least get away from the aggressive female. Or that may also make her feel comfortable where she doesn't feel like she needs to be aggressive, and she can either have her baby somewhere, hard telling why she's being so aggressive. What is Patreon? Is it an app? It's like a crowdfunding site. That's what it is. And it's where people can support channels and help them out. Since the whole adpocalypse happened and YouTube doesn't really give us much support anymore for creating videos. Candy overhauls after peat and you add water. Do they then go in a tank or another container? Now you can take this container, so say you fill this up with water, you could either fill it up like that and then just let them come out, or you can just stick the whole container in there if you have like a bare bottom. I wouldn't recommend sticking the whole thing in there if you have a nice planted tank, because the peat moss will float up and out and everywhere. But after that, you can either scoop them out if you're keeping them in the container, or either pour them out slowly, but you'd still get peat moss, or you can get a bare tank and put them in there. And I just feed them tropical granules. Now what I do is when the fish are really small, I'll take pieces of those granules and I don't feed them like the whole chunk of the granule. I just feed them the dusting, so my fingers will collect dusting of the food and I just brush off the dusting. So the fish may eat it, and if the fish don't eat it, something else in the water is going to eat it. For instance, your infusoria or your copepods, cyclops, little microfauna like that. Alright, so let's get back in the chatception here. But I hope that covers everything as far as the blue Gularis. Umbrian Gaming, well, I finally caught a stream, and for my dream fish, about to start my first tank. I'd keep them if he had the wait list wasn't full. Yeah, unfortunately those wait lists just get out of hand and I just can't keep up with them. But I'm glad you got this, and that's awesome. This is your dream fish. I'm hoping to have more available for everybody so I can help everybody who wants them get them, because they're such a beautiful fish. I want as many of them in this hobby going as possible, because like I mentioned earlier, I would hate to see them dissipate from this hobby. So hopefully you get your chance to get them, and kudos to you for even knowing what they are, because a lot of people don't even know of this fish and realize that there are freshwater fish as beautiful as this. It took me forever before I found out. Years of keeping aquariums. And then once I did, I was like, oh yeah. It took me years to even get these fish again. It took me at least 2 years of searching to get some again. The first time I got them took me probably about 2 years to get them too. Like, you'll hear people say, oh, I got them, but then they end up not having them. And it's just like a game of cat and mouse, really. What is your all-time most favorite rainbow fish? That is impossible. Absolutely impossible question. Too many even to count. Can I put those type of fish with rainbows? I'm still debating this. They do live together, but I think the rainbows may stress the blue Gularis, or may stress the killifish, the blue Gularis, out a little bit. But I'm not 100% sure on that. I've kept them multiple times in schools. Never really had any big issues. Just collected 80 Cory eggs. I got 1 male and 2 females breeding like rabbits. Adventure aquariums. That's awesome. I haven't gone down the Corridora rabbit hole yet, but I've got some sturba paired up. It's all on collecting the eggs. I need to focus more time towards it when I do it, because I know some people spawn mop them and some let them breed on the sand and everything else. I want to do it someday. Alright, please save this for replay. I am definitely going to save it for replay. LR Brett's Aquatics, what is your link for the Patreon? It is just LRB Aquatics, LR Brett's Aquatics. You type that in the search, it'll come in. I could always, I'll just put it in the comment section below after this too, for you guys, because that would be awesome for your guys' help, and like, my appreciation for it is beyond words I could even explain, because I spend every dollar I make off this just goes into the hobby. Like, I am truly addicted to this stuff, and the more you guys support, the bigger this gets and cooler it gets, and it all trickles down. And I appreciate all you guys who do support me already. And even just being on here, chatting, hanging out, it motivates me, it keeps me going. So you guys are all supporting me in here in one way or another, and I appreciate all you guys, and I just wanted to say that. What's a good plant to put in a Tetra tank? Pretty much any plant you want, but for breeding purposes you want moss. Moss works real good. How would you breed a pistos? I'm not planning on getting into pistos anytime soon. I've done lots of, like, a few dwarf cichlids, like the German and the blue rams, and these Laticar bucklecoughs, which they're kind of like a pisto, but not quite, a little bigger. But I'm not planning on doing it anymore. KG cichlids, thought you were mad at me and you were going to disown me. Not sure who you're talking to, because I hope I wouldn't give you that impression I was mad at you. But anyways, alright, I think I'm way back off this chat. LR Bryce, ever tried saltwater? I haven't. My brother, he does the saltwater, or he did the saltwater more. I would just go broke if I ever got into saltwater, because I know I'd get as hooked into that as I am this, especially with the corals and stuff they got. Hey Lucas, trying to get my CPDs breeding, but they don't seem to spawn. Any tips? Really, the best thing to do is just separate them out, kind of like I do here. Real quick, I was going to hop off here, but since you asked, and they're just right here. So what I do is I keep a group of them. There's like 3 females in there and a male. Or no, there's 4 females in there. And then I've got a little container. I've got a whole video on how to breed these guys. And I check that, I don't know, they just always constantly breed in here. I check it every like 4 or 5 days. There's always eggs in there. Now when I keep, the trio hasn't been breeding as much. Like I've only been getting like 4 or 5 eggs out of that. But then I'll like get 20 some out of that. And they don't have low pH, that's true. That's probably more around, I don't know, probably in the 7, mid 7s or low 7s. And the temperature fluctuates all the time. It's soft water. They do need soft water. They will breed in hard water, but the eggs won't take in the soft water, or won't take in the hard water. Chris Davis, how long does it take plecos to breed? Some plecos take years, and they do take a while to breed. I have monsters, but they haven't bred yet. They are 6 inches. Yeah, I guess it depends on the type of pleco too. I'm not the pleco master. Eric Bodrock, watch some of his videos. I know Corey from Aquarium Co-op's got some informative videos on Eric Bodrock's talks he recently did about Corey breeding. And I do know he's got a fish room tour. I think he talked more about the pleco breeding. Are those Pearldanos? They are Pearldanos. These are all Pearldanos. Kind of hard to see with the reflection, but there's a ton in there. I've got hundreds of Pearldanos. I don't know how these guys hide so well. There's at least hundreds so in there or whatever. Alright, I need to hop off here though. Get myself to sleep so I can get up and get some plumbing done. I've got to run this through here. I gotta wait till my neighbor gets up so I can finish drilling a hole through there and get my plumbing up to the new QT stand, which I'll be excited about. Alright, so yep. Well, I appreciate you guys all hanging out. It's been fun. It's late night. My favorite time. The world's more peaceful at this hour. Something about it. But till next time, thanks for hanging out. Peace, y'all.